Buddy guy. Check, check. Test, test. That should be coming through for just. Alrighty. I go ahead and go live on TikTok too. We're off. Set up. Good. All right. Find ourselves in Principle 44. Create a network of mentors and others who will uplevel you. Study anyone who's great, and you'll find that there are several masters. Therefore, if you want to achieve greatness, down, relative success, apprentice to a. That was Robert Allen, self-made multimillionaire and co-author of the one. Despite some of the best information available on how to accomplish the task, most people still tend to ask their friends, neighbors, coworkers, and siblings for advice on key issues that they're facing. Too often, they ask the advice of others who've never triumphed over the specific hardship they are facing or have never succeeded in their specific area of endeavor. Pointed out in Principle 9, success leaves. Why not take advantage of all the wisdom and experience that already exists by finding a mentor, or two or three, who've already been down the road you want to travel? All you have to do is ask. One of the main strategies of the successful is that they constantly seek out guidance and advice from experts in their field. Aside some time and make a list of all the people you'd like to ask to mentor you. Approach them and ask for their help. Determine in advance what you mentor. It may seem daunting at first to contact successful people and ask for ongoing advice, and it's easier than you think. It's the mentorship of those who are far ahead of you in the areas in which you'd like to succeed. But mentors do more than anything, says famous speaker, is help you see possibilities. Mentors help you overcome possibility blindness, both by acting as a role model for you and by conveying a certain level of expectation as they communicate with you. Les started his speaking career in the early 1980s. That tape of his Dr. Norman, world-renowned speaker and publisher of guideposts. That tape led to a long and fruitful relationship for life. Dr. Peel not only took Les under his counseled him on his speaking style, but also quietly opened doors and helped Les get important speaking circuit. Speakers bureaus began calling him for bookings, raising his rate to $5,000 per speech. Charging. Les recounts this story. Norman Vincent Peale was the first person to tell Les he spoke more to my heart than to. While I was doubting myself, abilities, lack of education, background, have the right stuff. You have to have everything it takes. Continue to speak from your heart, and you will less realize the value of having a mentor. Though the relationship consists of brief phone conversations and Dr. Peel to learn his style, in the end it meant more to both men. Time. During his last public speech, Dr. Peel used one of his protege's oft-repeated phrases, "For the moon because he stars." Perhaps like Les, you just need someone to open doors. Perhaps you need a referral to a tech expert, help you build a new service for your. Maybe you simply need validation that the path you're pursuing is the right one. Mentor can help you with all these things. Prepared to ask for advice. Your homework. Ways to research backgrounds of successful in your area of interest. Magazine. Ask trade association executive directors and trade shows and conventions, call fellow entrepreneurs, or approach others who operate in your industry. For mentors who have the kind of well rounded experience you need to tackle your goal. Start seeing a pattern of the same few people being recommended. You know you've identified your short list of possible mentors. Janet Switzer regularly mentors people on how to grow their business. Lisa Miller of CRA Management Group called Janet, just about to sign away a large percentage of her revenues to someone she thought would help her develop a new business. Janet showed Lisa how to instantly accomplish the same goal without outside parties, and even helped her land new business from existing clients, accelerating Lisa's company growth for months and her hundreds of thousands of. Contact possible mentors like Janet and ensure a successful conversation once you make a list of specific points you'd like to cover in your first conversation, such as why you'd like them to mentor you and what kind of help you might be looking for. Brief, but be confident. The truth is that successful people like to share what they have learned with others. Human trait to want to pass on wisdom. Not everyone will take the time to mentor you, but many will if asked. You simply need to make a list of the people you would like to have as your mentor and ask them to devote a few minutes. Some will say no, but some will say yes. Keep asking people until you get a positive response. Les Hewitt, who founded the Achievers Coaching Program, coached the owner of a small trucking company who wanted to ask one of the major players in the trucking industry to be his mentor. The mentor was delighted to be asked. He ended up helping the young man's company grow exponentially. The original script is when Johnston. My name's Neil. Haven't met you. And I know you're a busy man, so I'll be brief. I own a small trucking business. Over the years, you've done a fantastic job building your business into the largest company. I'm sure you had some real challenges when you were first starting out. Well, I'm still in those early stages trying to figure everything out. Ms. Johnston, I'd really appreciate it if you would consider being my mentor. All that would mean is spending 10 minutes on the phone with me. Questions. I appreciate it. Would you be open to that? If you're a small business owner or contemplating starting a business, contact your local chapter of SCORE, Service Corps of Retired Executives. Working in partnership with the U.S. Small Business Administration, SCORE is an extensive national network of over 11,000 retired and working volunteers, providing free business counseling and advice as cost workshops as a public service to all types of all stages of development, from idea to startup to success. Find one of their 320 chapter offices at www.score.org. Another source of free business advice and counseling for small business owners, Small Business Development Center, service of the U.S. Small Business Administration. Three offices across the purview. More slash valuable advice. Jason Dorsey was a typical college student, effectively first mentor, local entrepreneur who had been asked to speak to business class at the University of Texas. Brad challenged the class by defining success as something greater than just making. Jason was intrigued and asked him to be his mentor. During their first meeting, Brad asked John about his plans. He replied that he planned to finish college, stock exchange, get an MBA, start his own business, and eventually retire at 40. Once retired, he planned to work with hard-to-reach youth, patient and respectful. During this, Brad asked Jason how old he would be by the time. Jason guessed he'd be around 5. Brad asked a life-changing question. 5 years to start doing what you. Why not start now? Wait, the more difficult. His observation made sense, but Jason was only 18. Help people started now. Write a book they will actually want to read. Tell them your secrets for feeling good about yourself even when everyone else is so. Tell them what it takes to ask someone to be your mentor. Tell them why you have so many job opportunities for only 18. January 7th, 7 at 1. Jason started writing his book. Oh, he couldn't do it. The first draft, graduate to your perfect job, just. Jason published the book himself, started speaking at school, and mentoring other young people. By the time he was 25, he had spoken to over 500,000 people. He appeared on NBC's Today Show Times, seen his first book become a course in over. He is such a compelling speaker and motivator. Soon the schools were hiring him to train their teachers and counselors as well. He's known as the Gen Y guy, and his latest venture is a new company that helps executives learn how to motivate and retain. First of all, Jason is still learning from his mentors, all 5 of them. Jason was only 26 years old. He won the Austin Under 40 Year Award in the category of education. Today at 36, Jason speaks worldwide, from India to Mexico to Norway and Egypt. Companies such as Mercedes-Benz, Four Seasons Hotels, SAS, and Visa. Given over 1,000 speeches, largest 6. Written 2 more books, Why Size Your Business, My Reality Check Bounced. Writes the popular Maverick Minute column for success. Just think, Jason had not taken the risk to ask a stranger to be his mentor, getting that MBA right about now. Prepared to return the favor. Prepared to give your mentor something in return. Something simple, such as keeping them updated on industry information or calling with new opportunities that might benefit them. Look for ways to give to your mentors. Help others too. What a great reward to any mentor to have their former protege out in the world. Ask someone who's already done it. Success leaves clues. Robbins, motivational speaker and author of. I was promoting the first edition of this book, 5. I was scheduled to be on a morning news show in Dallas, Texas. I was in the green room getting my makeup on. I asked the makeup artist, they often do with almost everyone I meet, what is your dream goal? Oh, open my own salon. I replied, great. What are you doing to make that happen? It's a bad strategy, I said. Why not? I know what I have to do to open my own salon. I have a radical idea that might help. That. Why don't you go find someone who already owns their own salon and then ask them how they did it? Wow, that's a great idea, she explained. It never ceases to amaze me that people don't figure this out earlier. At least you know now what to do. Ask someone who's already done it. Help breaking the world record. 43-year-old Austrian skydiver Felix Gartner decided to break the records for the fastest. He asked retired U.S. Air Force Colonel Joseph Kidden, previous world record holder, who is now 84 years old, to help him break the record that Joe set. And to help someone younger break his own records, readily agreed. In addition to mentoring him, he also played the role of Capcom, station's mission controls primary. During the ascent of the helium-filled balloon, lifted him 24 miles. October 14th, Baumgartner jumped from 127,800, about 24 miles, for the highest skydive ever, more than 4 miles higher than Kittinger's record-breaking jump of 95 miles in 1960. With Joe's help and supported by the peak performance team at Red Bull, Baumgartner broke the records for the highest manned flight. Fastest free fall, 33 miles per hour, 1,357.64 kilometers, Mach 5, and becoming the first person to break the sound barrier outside before landing safely in the desert after his. Despite the momentous day, record Felix did. The problems with his bugging and falling faster than even contingency plan of pulling the 5,000 feet kept him from reaching his free fall record. He said he was happy to leave the record intact for his mentor. 53 years after he said it, 4-minute, 36-second record still belongs to Joe Kittinger. Network your way to success. Networking is the single most powerful marketing tactic to accelerate and sustain success for any individual or organization. That was Adam Small, founder of Nashville Emerging Leaders. Aside from mentors, there are many other people who can also help you level your game. People who can be found through constant and proactive networking. In fact, one of the most important skills for success in today's world, especially for entrepreneurs and business owners, is networking. Jim Bunch, the creator of The Ultimate Game of Life, once stated, your network will determine your net worth. My life, and this has proven to be true. The more time I've spent consciously building and nurturing my network of advisors, colleagues, clients, students, customers, and fans, the more successful I've become. Businesses and careers are built on relationships. Relationships form when people meet and interact with each other over time in an authentic way. And as I'm sure you are aware, statistics confirm over and over that people prefer to do business with people they know, like, and trust. Some reasons to get more involved in networking if you're a business owner. Generating referrals and increased business. Referrals that you get. high quality, and most of the time are even qualified for you. Over time, you can follow up on these referrals and turn them into clients. You get much higher quality leads from networking than from other forms of marketing. This opportunity to increase sales is probably the biggest reason people network, but there are other advantages as well. Get together with opportunities. There's an opportunity for things like joint ventures, partnerships, and writing opportunities, business or asset sales, investment opportunities, and much dating connections. The old adage, not what you know, who you know, so true in business. Want a really successful business, then you have a great source of relevant connections in your network and call on when you need them. Networking will provide you with a great source of connections, open the door to talk to people that might not otherwise be. Remember, it's not just about the person you are directly networking with. That person will already have other complete he or she belongs to tap into as well. We'll discuss in a moment. It's not what you know, how well you know counts. Gaining useful advice. Having like minded business owners to talk to also gives you the opportunity to get advice on all sorts of things related to your business or even your personal life. Networking is a great way to tap into advice and expertise that you wouldn't otherwise be able to. Ask my friend Ivan Misner, who father of modern networking, hear his VCP process. Here because stress is one of the major mistakes people make when they network. Ivan is the founder and chairman of BN National, the world's largest referral organization with over 170,000 members in almost chapters in 55 countries. BNI has fostered more than 5 million referrals a year, resulting in $65 billion worth of business. All about relationships. Dr. Ivan Misner is a New York Times bestselling author, founder and chairman of BN, the world's largest business network organization, and also the visit successprinciples.com/resource. At a recent started my presentation by asking the audience, they hope maybe even fail. The overwhelming majority of people. I asked, we're here today hoping to buy something. No one raised a hand, not a single person. It's a great disconnect about networking. Networking events hoping to sell something. You're dreaming. Don't confuse direct selling with networking. Effective networking is all about developing relationships. Of course, there'll always be someone who says, but Ivan, I made a sale by attending a network event. But for most people, stumbling upon a new customer or making an on-spot sale happens about as often as a solar eclipse. Most people at an event are also trying to sell, which means buy. You're crazy if you think the odds are in your favor to sell at a networking event. Why go? Go because networking is more about farming than it is about hunting, about developing relationships with other business professionals. Sometimes you'll want to attend a networking event to increase your visibility. Sometimes you go to establish further credibility with people you know. Sometimes you might attend simply to meet a longtime friend or associate, to further that business and profitability. In any case, truly successful networkers focus more on moving through the VC process than on closing deals. Visibility. First phase of growing a relationship is visibility. Another individual become aware of each other. In business terms, this individual, who is a potential source of future referrals or even a potential customer, has just become aware of the nature of your business, perhaps because of your public relations and advertising efforts, perhaps through someone you both know. The person may observe the act of conducting business or you begin communicating and establishing links, perhaps a question or two over the phone about a product's availability. You may become personally acquainted and worked on a first name basis, but you know little else about each other. All of these types of relationships merge with what's called a casual contact network, sort of de facto association based on one or more shared interests. Visibility phase is important because it creates recognition and awareness. Your visibility, the more information you will obtain about others, the more opportunities you'll be exposed to, and the greater your chances will be being accepted by other individuals or groups as someone who visibility must be actively maintained and developed. Without it, you cannot move on to the next level. Credibility means being reliable and worthy of someone's confidence. Once you and your new acquaintance begin to form expectations of each other, the relationship can enter the credibility stage. The person is confident, satisfaction from the relationship, and it will continue to strengthen. Credibility grows when appointments are kept, promises are acted upon, facts are verified, and services are rendered. Words is true. Failure to live up to expectations, both explicit and implicit promises, kill a budding relationship before it has a chance. Worse, this failure can create visibility of a kind. To determine how credible you are, people often turn to parties. Ask someone you know who has known you longer, perhaps even done business with you. Vouch for you. Are you honest? Are your products and services? Are you someone who can be counted on in a crunch? Profitability. Of course, a mature networking relationship with personal is where profitability occurs. It's mutually rewarding. Both partners gain satisfaction from it. Does it profit both partners to help the relationship? Probably will not endure. How long does it take to phase as a helping relationship? Highly variable. In fact, it's not always easy to determine when profitability is a month. Cases such as when it rises, the other person may proceed from visibility to credibility overnight. Same is true of profitability, quickly, or it may take years. Most likely, it's somewhere in between. Of course, much depends on the frequency and quality of your contact with each other, but most especially on the desire of both parties to move. Why short-sightedness at any stage can hinder or even stop the full development of the relationship. Perhaps you're a customer who has networked and done business with a certain vendor off and on for several months. Save pennies, you keep hunting around for the lowest price. It provides you in terms of service, hours, liability. Are you really profiting from the new relationship, or are you stunning its growth? Perhaps if you gave this vendor all your business, instead of continuing to shop around for better pricing, work out terms that would be beneficial to both of you. Profitability is not found by bargain hunting. Cultivated, and like farming, it takes patience. Another major benefit of the profitability stage of a relationship. Referrals coming to you from people with whom you've networked. Establish an effective network when you've entered the profitability stage of your relationships with many people. Your finely tuned referral generation system will send you referrals and customers as a result. Profitability happens when there are benefits going both ways, whether referrals, information, support, or something. The ultimate goal should be a meaningful and mutual payoff in the relationship. Of course, this profitability stage of a relationship isn't limited to a customer or client acquired through a referral. It may come in the form of a connection to someone who can help you launch an initiative or otherwise grow your business. It may include access to a mentor or a professional advisor or a contact in another industry who can help you expand your market share or enter a new market. It might be the ability to delegate more of your workload, gain substantial free time for your hobby or personal interests, or spend more quality time with family members. Janet Switzer, my party partner, Patty Aubrey, know the value of being connected to a robust and well created millions of dollars in business. Between us, we've amassed over 500,000 blog readers, 500,000 Facebook fans, millions of customers, clients, and students who follow our success. Developed personal contact lists with hundreds of key individuals who can help out with advice, direction, name, an idea, resources, marketing assistance. My networks include the Transformational Leadership Council, Council for Self-Esteem, the National Speakers Association, Speakers and Authors Network, plus connections to networks enjoyed by colleagues in the human potential. I'm Janet, and I can ask each other, who do we know and who can we help with this new initiative? Confident that we can go to our contact list and get our request within. That's the real profitability. For successful networking. Ivan Misner, who also makes valuable suggestions for effective networking. Whether you are at a designated networking event or at a potential networking event like a Chamber of Commerce meeting, conference, convention, or trade association meeting. His tips for increasing your visibility, knowing your own value statement, creating small groups that are open for others to join, and much more are detailed on our companion website, successprinciples.com/research. Scroll down to Principle 44 and click the link you find. Opportunity to network is everywhere. quote by Woody Allen, 80% of success is shown. Academy Award-winning director, writer, actor, and comedian. You never know where you're going to find your next connection. Early one spring morning, Jean McDonald stopped at a Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Line was out the door, but longing for that caffeine fix. Wait. While she was standing there, the woman in front of her commented, "What kind of traffic? I should own one of these." That opening, Jean started up a conversation and mentioned she was an entrepreneur who helped women look good and feel good. Went on to tell her that she was with Mary Kay Cosmetics and that it was a wonderful opportunity. The woman in line told her she was the Girl Scout troop leader and she was looking to talk to the girls about skincare. Jean took her information and told her she'd be in touch. Meanwhile, the woman behind them heard their conversation and told Jean she was a nurse and was interested in Mary Kay's hand treatment products. She asked if Jean would come to her office and provide some pampering. Jean took her information too. But it didn't end there. The man behind her then joined in, telling Jean that his sister loved Mary Kay products. Lost her representative. His sister's contact information too. 3 strong leads, all from just chatting with people in line, all before 7:30 a.m. The story doesn't end there because at this point, all Jean had were leads. Strong leads. 99% of all success in life is following up. That was Kent Healy, co-author of The Success Principle. Networking is so much more than just meeting people. Following up and following through and continuing to connect and reconnect. Jean connected with a Girl Scout leader and she pampered 12 girls and several mothers. The troop leader loved what she did so much, became a new consultant on her. The nurse was so pleased with the products that she met with Jean individually for a one-on-one appointment and also became the new Mary Kay consultant. Now here's the kicker. The sister of the man she spoke with in line was the local mortician, and she told Jean she loved the look of Mary Kay products on all her customers. Turns out the products even gave luster and life to. Ultimately, she introduced Jean to several of the local funeral homes, resulting in about $3,000 worth of product sales. As a result of the Jean's team became the leaders in the community Girl Scouts. They developed business with many nurses, doctors' offices, funeral directors, and Jean's team earned their first pink Cadillac. The moral of this story is you never know where your connection. To find that connection, you must follow up to get. Richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else looks for one. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, What the Rich Teach Their Kids About Money, Poor and Middle Class Do Not. Networking is not just for business owners. May 7, 2014, Miriam Laundrie set a Guinness World Records title for the largest online book discussion in an hour period. Personal goal of empowering 100,000 children. Guinness World Records adjudicated verified a total of 33,695 official comments. Unofficially, there were 103,813 people in 9 different countries participating. Miriam looked back at her achievement and said the success principle that helped her the most was networking. During the last week of my Train the Trainer program, Miriam shared her breakthrough goal with a fellow participant. Her goal? To empower 100,000 children to believe in themselves by June 1st, 2020. Through being read her children's book, I Can Believe in Myself. Strategy for accomplishing this goal for official Guinness World Records title. Fellow trainer asked Miriam why she chose that project and explained that May 7th fell during the Mental Health Awareness Week in Canada. Her purpose for writing the book stemmed from losing her niece to suicide, positive mental health to children. Stunning coincidence, the trainer told her about a colleague of his who Inspiration Day also celebrated every year on May 7th. He asked if he could pass along Miriam's. A couple of months later, Miriam got a call from Switzerland. The founder of the association who was looking into the project and sent her with the Winspiration Day Award for 2014. The founder fully supported Miriam's official Guinness and put her in contact with an international company called Nike. Asked her to speak with the managing director of Nike in Europe. It seemed that everyone who heard about her goal wanted to help her. Nike organization helped her finance the official Guinness World Record attempt, including paying the cost of making it an international event. Nike hosted a global conference call with their offices in 26 countries where they interviewed Miriam about her vision and her reasons for wanting children. The Nike organization suggested she start crowdfunding campaign where they could all contribute to help pay the Canadian dollars $15,000 costs. associated with bringing a Guinness World Records adjudicator to her city of St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. Overwhelmed by the outpouring of help, Miriam didn't fully realize the magnitude of support until she started receiving daily book orders from Australia, Austria, the Philippines, Russia, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom. The secret of her success, networking. And it all started with her being open to sharing her goals. Flex, the most incredible thing to do, share your heartfelt purpose and vision with others. Want to jump on board and help. Never know whom you're talking to, and what their triggers are. Sharing my goal with that one participant resulted in me being Inspiration Day. Financial backing for my goal, the Guinness World Records title, most important, having thousands of children being empowered, all learning the I can mentality all over the world. Next time, we'll be covering Principle 45, hire a personal coach. That will be next episode. That's Principle. Please remember, folks, to support the show. Likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, Bamel Stormer Show. Any and all support that this show receives is very much and truly appreciated. Please follow if you should find yourself on TikTok. Please subscribe if you should help on YouTube. Thank you for any and all help that this show should get. 1,000 likes. I like to see again that this show has received. Sleep tight. Have a good night. I've been your host, Stormer Show, signing out and signing off. Thanks for watching.